Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. We're so glad you're here with us today. Your soul is welcome here, and you are in the right place at the right time.
Just where you are meant to be, whether you're live streaming or here with us in person. Happy April, you're in for a treat today. Let's sing how we're all welcome here.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be.
Oh, my soul.
Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. All souls are welcome here.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome.
Oh, my soul is welcome.
Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
I'm getting the message.
I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
You know it is.
My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Yes, it is.
Come on, hands up. It's welcome
No
here.
matter what color, what culture, sexual orientation, political or religious affiliation, what God is many paths, everybody's welcome here.
I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Oh, I said, yes, it is.
Well, good morning, Reverend Deborah. Our souls indeed are welcome here. Good to see you again this morning, as is everyone else that's here.
And good morning, Reverend James. It's great to be here, and it's great to see you even the Sunday after Easter.
Yes.
And we greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples and mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because there is no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, whether you are watching us online or you're with us here in person, we especially want to welcome you, because we know that you are not here by accident. We know that every one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're always just so very happy and excited that we get to come together in this way, and that excitement extends to silencing your electronic devices, and please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well, we created a clearing to connect with this presence. Let us slowly listen and feel and sense our oneness with this divine nature that is our very life and being. Let us remember that we indeed are one in the Spirit. That all that we see emanates from this one presence, one power, one reality. So we come under its government and its guidance, and we manifest and recreate these energy fields in our life and in this world. First and foremost is the divine and perfect love itself that is the foundation of all that we see, and all of its offspring of peace and joy and wisdom and health and wholeness and vitality and vigor. As we indeed make these the activity of our thoughts, words, and actions, we are representing the presence. And then we are also lifted up. And as we are lifted up, then all those who cross our path that are within our field, that are connected to us on a soul level, on an energetic level, are lifted up as well. So we're grateful to let this presence be expressed through and as our life. For we're here to let God, the force, the universe, the Atman presence, whatever we call it, be the activity of our awareness and in our world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center that's reflected in our mission statement, and I invite you to join in as we affirm it together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission as we embody these 5 universal principles to the best of our ability. Again, let's speak them aloud and embody them. God is an absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action. And anyone who's born in the month of April, we want to acknowledge you. We're going to action a song on your behalf. Any April?
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
And those of you online,
Happy birthday.
you can stand up too.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday to all the April babies, online or in person.
And so this week, the Wow Wednesday is a Talk the Walk, and we're calling it Find the Rembrandt. Rose Lonsway has raised 2 boys who were neurodivergent, and she has raised them using spiritual principles into very happy, functioning adults. And we're going to sit down and talk about what that was for her, what that process is, especially using the spiritual principles behind it. I think it's going to be a fascinating evening. The community meal is at 6, and the program starts at 7.
You know, I think one of the things that helps us grow, develop, unfold after we've kind of taken in as much spiritual principles as we can is to how we can give it back in our own way through sacred service. And one of the ways that you can do that, if you're inclined and if the Spirit is calling you, nudging you, considering you to be a member of our Board of Trustees, we invite you to submit an application. It's an opportunity not only to support our community and moving it forward in its strategies, moving it forward financially, to help move us from where we are to where we can be. But it's one of the most important ways I think a person continue to grow spiritually as well. So if you get that nudge, go ahead and get an application. We extended the application timeline through today. And if Spirit is calling you, putting that whisper, go ahead and do it, because the universe is waiting for you right now. All right.
Okay, so I'm going to be throwing a lot of information at you right now. Don't panic. There is a flyer out at the hub if you care about anything I said. If you want more information, because I am going to go through this kind of quickly. But I wanted to introduce a new team. We've always had a team that did all of the events and groups and logistics and all of that kind of thing, but we have reorganized it, and we're calling it Events, Groups, and Logistics, or EAGLE. So we've got the EAGLE team now. And we meet on Tuesdays at 11:45 for about an hour. I am on the team as the operations manager, Elaine LaRoa from Finance and Marketing. Patty Peters is our logistics coordinator, and Nancy Hilton is the office manager. And so, as I said, we meet each week, and then what we do, one of the things we do is we schedule and coordinate all of the events and activities. Now, the board is, they are supposed to, well, they fund us, they hire the minister, they set the vision, and we implement all of that. And then the next thing we do is we facilitate communication among all groups. So if there's all of the small groups that we have, we need to coordinate with them and find out what they're doing, and so that we can get it to marketing and we can get it out there so you know what's going on. And so that's another part of what we do. We sit down every week and we look at the calendars. We make sure that everything is all working together. And then the next thing we do is, we support all efforts, the financial, logistical, volunteers, everything goes through us. So if you have an idea for an event, or you want to start a small group, or any of those kinds of things, just come to me and we can talk about it, or you can give me a proposal, or if you just have questions. But this is how everything gets scheduled and implemented, is through the Eagle team. It is our commitment from the staff to raise $42,000 this year through fundraisers. Now, the board has their own goals, and you'll hear about that next week from our president, Josie Johnson. But the events that we're going to be having that are on this sheet that we've been talking about, the Save the Date sheet, this is out on at the hub in case you want more information, or if you haven't got the Save the Date list yet. But so our goal is through these is to raise the $42,000. And some of the things that are coming up is the Blooming Bingo that we have on April 12th. That's one of the fundraisers. You can sign up for that online or at the hub and buy your cards and all of that. And then in May, we've got the First Ladies of Jazz. Now, this is a Mystic Cafe, and this is a big deal. This is there's going to be food and all kinds of fun things in addition to the concert. And there's 2 showings, one at 4:30 and 7:30. And again, you can sign up, you can get your tickets online or at the hub. And we want to thank Carol Manson for being one of the sponsors for this event. Now, we are open to having sponsors for every single event on this list, and if you go to our website, you will find a page. And if you go in and register for one of them or sign up for one of them, it will give you the option to be a sponsor. You're not required to, but it gives you the option to sponsor right there. So it's really easy to sponsor these different events. And of course, the more sponsors we get, the more net income we have from these events. So think about that. And then, this is not a fundraiser.
But it could be some fun.
But it could be fun. And that's the spring cleanup day that we're going to be refreshing our space together. Some of you have participated. We do things like landscape and cleaning up the kitchen, cleaning all the appliances in the kitchen and wiping down walls. And I will have a better list next week, and we will have a list for people to sign up next week, because it is on Saturday, April 27th from 10 to 2. So those are some of the things that are going on. Let's all now take a deep breath.
You take a deep breath as well. There's a lot that goes on to keep the trains running behind the scenes that oftentimes we overlook. So thank you and your team for doing what you do to coordinate so many different things. Well, many of you know Dave and Ray. Yes, I can acknowledge that. No, Reverend Dave and Rachel Lyman, they've been kind of spearheading a lot of the interfaith work over the years, and they've announced that they're going to release that. I won't say retire, but I think they'll never retire. They always have something they'll be doing. But we wanted to acknowledge them for the work they've done over the years, and I want you to see a video that was a response, I think, to an award they had gotten from Spiritual Life Center.
In 2019,
for the gala.
Yes,
for the gala. To get an idea of who they are, just in case you don't know, and we can give them a blessing on their own going to their next assignment.
Tonight, Dave and I are so honored to accept this recognition for our leadership in interfaith work. On behalf of Spiritual Life Center's founding ministers, Reverend Faith and Michael Moran, who took an idea from a Jewish artist named Isaac Soltis, who created the oneness symbol, and they decided to carry on the work that he had in mind to create a interfaith world where everyone connects and is at peace. Many paths to one God. That's what SLC ended up being. So interfaith was born at SLC. We also want to accept this award only on behalf of each and every one of you, including all YOU students who participated in or volunteered in any interfaith event or program we had, or any interfaith event that occurred in the last 20 years at SLC. Was started by Michael in faith and is continuing on. Together, SLC and the interfaith work we've done has made a positive difference in Sacramento. Sacramento is a very diverse community, but Spiritual Life Center is known for its heart, for its connections to the interfaith community. And in times of crisis, SLC has been there. We've stepped in to hold hands with our brothers and sisters, our Muslim friends, our Sikh friends, our Jewish friends, when the world hasn't seen them like we've seen them. So we thank you for being on this interfaith journey with us, a journey of peace, and we say namaste to each and every one of you. Thank you.
So I've been blessed to have been hired by Interfaith Explorers, the interfaith organization started by Rachel Lyman at SLC. And this is to be aware that tonight is not an ending, it's a beginning. It's for each of you that have a stirring within your heart to learn about your brothers and sisters who are in different faith traditions, who worship in a different way, to take them out of being a nameless face to a name, to someone you know. That is your job, because this award isn't just for us. It's for each one of you who have that stirring in your heart, that divine stirring that says, we are all one, and I want to know who you are, be you Muslim, Jewish, Baha'i, or Rastafarian. Thanks so much for honoring us, but in truth, for honoring each of you. Namaste.
Thank you. So we want to send them a blessing, and if you'd like to stand and join in, we'll just bless Dave and Rachel for their work, and as they continue on, whatever they're doing next, we continue to send that divine loving energy for them. So let's say that together. Dave and Rachel, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold God's love as you. All righty. And they'll be watching online at some point, so they'll get that loving energy from us.
And so, of course, every week we remind you that there are many activities that foster a transformation at Spiritual Life Center. And so we ask you, or suggest that you check out our weekly offerings and, of course, all of the classes and small groups that are happening. You can go out to the courtyard, look at the bulletin board, or go over and talk with the people at the hub. And, of course, you can always go to our website to find out all the happenings at SLC.
Well, we come to Spiritual Life Center, among other things, to make connections with folks in our classes, workshops, bingos, whatever goes on. But we don't have to wait for a special event. We can connect with someone right here and right now. So in a manner that feels comfortable for you, just greet a friend or a friend-to-be and just say, you are marvelous and glad you are here.
Invite you to stay standing and join us in singing our group song written by Richard Burdick, Touch of the Divine. You ready to get a little calypso on?
I am.
Ready to move a little?
I'm ready. Let's dance.
Let's do it.
Come on, everyone.
us in singing.
I feel the touch of the divine. I feel the prayer of grace for me. I reach beyond myself in humility, and I embrace the mystery. Standing in the light, God's love is enough for me. Standing in the light, in God's love I am set free. I stretch my wings, I'm lifted up by the unseen power of life. I stretch my wings, I soar, yes, now I fly, for I am touched by the divine. Standing in the light, God's love is enough for me. Standing in the light, in God's love I am set free. I'm standing in the light, standing in the light, God's love is enough for me. Standing in the light, in God's love I am set free. In God's love I am set free. In God's love I am set free.
Please be seated.
And now, as we settle in for the contemplative portion of our service, let's take a nice deep breath together. And let's speak aloud our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
And I invite you just to get present. Your body sitting in the chair, your feet on the floor, the temperature in the room. And we invite you to sing this beautiful chant with us, Spirit in me. Please join us in singing.
Spirit in me, live out in the open, shine from my life like the sun. Give up your goodness, conquer the darkness, Spirit of light and love. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit in me. Spirit in me. Live out in the open, shine from my life like the sun. Give of your, conquer the darker, Spirit of light and love. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit in me. Give through me, speak through me, move through me, love through me. Oh, Spirit.
Oh, Spirit, move in me, move through me, love through me. Take a moment now to become quiet by taking a deep breath, letting it go. And then turn within. Bring your focus to your heart center. And as you continue to breathe, allow yourself to drift up into a light daydream. Float up with the music and float high up into the sky. And gently settle into a cloud. And cradled in the sparkling mist of this cloud, you feel safe and warm. And as you float along, a blush of light flickers at the center of your chest. As you take another breath, the light grows into a small ball. And then with another breath, it flows into your torso. And with each breath, the light flows into your legs, your arms, your neck, your head. And your light glows and grows until it fills your entire body. And your cloud curves around you in a protective embrace. And as you sink into this safe environment, think of something that causes you concern or fear, and then gather that into your hand. And hold your hand in front of you and say this prayer. Oh, Holy Spirit, take this from me. Transmute it into courage. Transmute it into strength. Transmute it into understanding. Transmute it into joy. Holy incandescence moves through you, healing you, transforming and transmuting fear and concerns into courage, strength, understanding, joy. You are purified. You are one holy radiance. And now, bring a loved one into your vision, and looking at them, whisper this prayer and this affirmation. Holy Spirit now takes any fear or concern from you. It transmutes it into courage, transmutes it into love, transmutes it into strength, transmutes it into understanding, transmutes it into joy. Holy incandescence moves through you and them, transforming and transmuting that fear or concern of theirs into courage, strength, understanding, and joy. You are both purified. You are one holy radiance. And now with another breath, you find yourself looking down at the entire earth, and your vision changes. As you invoke Holy Spirit and extend your light, the cloud shimmers. Rays and waves of light flow down, immersing each country, every ocean, all beings, all planets, the very atoms of the earth. All fears and concerns dissolve as they are transmuted into courage, strength, understanding, joy, and love in the silence. Through your prayer, you, those you love, and the entire earth are healed in this moment, and you are all free. As you take a breath and return to your physical awareness, please receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, to vision is to pray. To pray is to love. By your prayer, you transform yourself and your part of the world. By your prayer, you will know oneness. The power of your prayer is unlimited. By your prayer, you become the essence of love. Remember this, always.
Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there's despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, ever joy. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of peace. Oh, divine Master, source of light in all, grant that I may not so much see, to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to be loved. For it is in giving that we receive. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned.
Thank you, Ann and Laree. As I was saying in the earlier service, whenever you sing and the stereo soul-like connection plays, I forget about all the seeming problems I have in my life. You know, they just kind of like disappear out my mind. And I think the challenge is when I leave here, can I stay in that space, you know? But thank you all so much. A number of years ago, I was walking through a mall. It was crowded. It had a lot of people in it. And I heard in the distance someone yell out, "James Edward Trapp Jr." And I'm thinking, first of all, who knows I'm here, and why are you yelling out my government name like that? And it turned out to be someone who I went to high school with, and we hadn't seen each other about 10, 15 years. It was quite a while. She had worked in the mall at one of the stores, and so we started talking, and she was sharing initially about her life, you know, how it wasn't working, and she didn't like her job, and what was wrong with the world. But we stayed in touch. You know, every time I went by there, we talked a little bit. And so we were sharing one day, and she told me what her dream was in life. She said she had a dream of being I think they call it a sommelier. Sommelier? Yeah, okay. Well, at the time, just like today, I couldn't pronounce it. But apparently it's someone who, goes around and tastes wines, and they go in and make recommendations to people who want to, drink certain types of wines, to go with what types of food. They make recommendations to hotels and restaurants, what wines to buy. And I asked her, they pay people to do that? I could do that. I may not ever show up to give the recommendations, but I could do that. But she said she wanted to do that, and there was one particular person that if she was able to connect with could actually help her make that happen. She could become that person. But every time she tried, she couldn't get an appointment with the person, and she couldn't reach the person because she traveled all over the country and outside of the country. And so she was feeling a little discouraged about whether or not her dream was going to come true. But she did all the things she needed to do in the meantime. She took classes and workshops to learn how to become the sommelier. See, I have a hard time saying the word. And, she networked with people. She sent out resumes, but nothing was working. So she was feeling discouraged, a little downbeaten by it. And she said that one day she decided just to walk out over to the beach, just to kind of clear her head. And so she started walking out to the beach, and she said she noticed how vast the ocean was and how many grains of sand there were there on the beach. And something hit her and said that, wait a minute, everything that I could ever want or hope for in my life, the universe or God, I don't think she used those words, has already created it. And it's there for me. So I have to begin to have a different attitude, and something changed within her. Her energy just lifted because she knew whatever she was trying to get in her life, it was going to happen. She just knew it within the depth of her soul. So she went back to her job, and she started working really hard and appreciating the job even more. And then one day she decided that she was going to go out just to do check out some yard sales. And she doesn't really do yard sales, but something instinctively just told her, just go and check out some yard sales. So she went to one particular yard sale, and she started talking with a woman there, and they started talking about the science of yard sales and all of that. And it turned out that was the very woman that she was trying to get all of this time to help her get that position. So they started exchanging information. To make a long story short, she, connected with her. She got some appointments, and eventually she became that sommelier. See, I'll get it before my life is over. And I thought about that as I was thinking about the talk of today. Because even though she was not conscious of it, she successfully practiced the master plan for prayer. And it's not about being religious, because I don't think she was religious at all. But effective prayer is not dependent upon our religion or a particular technique that we use at all. It kind of reminds me of the three clergymen who had been discussing the best positions for prayer. And while they were having this conversation, there was a gentleman who was an electric power line repairman, and he was kind of working nearby, and he was kind of overhearing the conversation. And he heard the first clergyman say, kneeling. Oh, yeah, that's definitely the best way to pray. And then the second preacher said, look here, the best results are when you have your hands outstretched into the heavens. That's when you get answers to your prayer. And the third one say, man, both of you guys are wrong. The most effective prayer is when you're positioned lying face down on the floor. And finally, the repair guy, he couldn't take it anymore. And he said, let me tell you, the best praying I ever did was when I was hanging upside down from an electric power pole. That was an effective prayer. So I say that the position is really not what's important. But rather we listen to what the master teacher, Jesus the Christ, said in Mark, the 11th chapter and 24th verse, when he said, pray believing you have received and it will be yours. So today we're talking about the master plan for prayer. And it's based upon that statement of pray believing that you have already received. So the question, how do we get into that state of believing so that our prayers, our visions, our visualizations begin to manifest? Well, there are many different ways to get there. I've looked at over years that there's multiple approaches that people use for their prayer techniques. But today, I'm going to share something from the James Trapp perspective. It's called the AAA method for prayer. Now, many of us may be familiar with, remember AAA, the National Automobile Association of America? And we used to use that to kind of help us out when our car would break down, and you call up AAA, and they'd come out. And these back in those days, we didn't have cell phones. You had to go to a phone booth, put a quarter in, tell them, well, this is where I am, and so forth. And they would take a long time. At least I remember that. They've probably gotten a lot better now. But we want to turn AAA to remind us of the master plan for prayer. Because maybe there are times we find ourselves where our backs are against the wall and we're in some sort of human predicament, and we realize we need to go to that higher dimension. So we need to use the AAA approach. So the AAA approach has three parts: acknowledge, appreciate, and allow. First is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement that what we're praying for is already here. It is already done. It is already present in the spiritual plane, which is completely infinite, never has any limitation. So when we realize that prayer is not about supplication, it's not about begging and wailing or gnashing of teeth or pleading or screaming loud, trying to get God's attention or get God to be different. No. It's not about dropping to our knees or hoping or sweating or gyrating or trying to get the universe to shift for us. No, real prayer is getting in touch with the awareness that we already have what we are praying for. Praying, believing that ye have, that ye may receive. So the master prayer for prayer is all about energy that we're holding even before the so-called answer shows up. I shared earlier about, imagine someone gifted you $1 million worth of stock from Berkshire Hathaway, which is the Warren Buffett company. I think he's one of the top people in the world. And you go to your broker and say you need to open up an account for you to receive those stocks so they can be transferred and eventually cashed out. Because you're ready to cash out, you're not waiting. And the broker says, well, rest assured, the money will be available in about 7 to 10 days after we go through all the paperwork. Just have to do it and complete the transaction. But the money will be there. But the most important thing that for the next 10 days, 7 days, you're walking around with an energy, a high energy. Your vibration is super high. And you're putting out to the universe, I'm wealthy. I'm happy. I'm rich. I'm excited, beyond contented. And you're walking around knowing that money is on its way. It's like it's already there. but at that moment, everything is the same. Nothing's really changed. Nothing has really changed in the outside. It's just you've given permission to feel a certain way as if it's already complete in this instant. Here's the thing. Living from that level of energy will produce many other experiences that are on the same level of excitement and that abundance, and seeming lucky and unexpected events begin to happen, even though you have no money there yet. But I think this is what the master plan for prayer is asking us to do, to be in that state of being as if it's already done before it shows up. And I think that's what my high school classmate did. Once she got that feeling that she had already gotten the job, it was there waiting to be rushed toward her, that she was in tune with a vibration with the all-providing presence that has everything and is never anywhere other than where we are. The psalmist put it this way in the 139th Psalm. And it said, "Whither shall I go from thy spirit? If I feel separated from God and make my bed in hell," which is not a place but a state of awareness, a feeling of separation, just to get that clear. "Lo, God is there. If I feel connected to the Spirit, feel connected to this heaven, which is a state of awareness, lo, God is there also." There's nowhere that we can go to be separated from this infinite and divine power other than our own minds. So our job in the master plan for prayer is to get in tune with the awareness that we already have what we are praying for. It is already done. We just have to feel it. We have to vibrate with it. We have to believe it. We have to know it. We're going to have that jazz concert in May. And, I just kind of thought about this song that you may have heard before that says something to the effect, "It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing." Well, you converted it around for today. It don't mean a thing if I don't have that feeling. I don't have the rhythm in it, quite like the song. But we got to have the feeling. We got to feel it. That is the most important thing. So that's the first A. And then the second A of the AAA formula is appreciate. We have to fully appreciate what we have now. Because here's how it works. Whatever we appreciate, it appreciates. It becomes more, it grows more than what we could have imagined. Appreciation elevates our positive vibration so we can see and resonate and manifest our prayer requests. Appreciation means we focus on what we want rather than what we don't want. We focus on what we have rather than focus on what we do not have. We let our eye be single in that way. As it says in Matthew, let your eye be single so your body can be full of light. We want to be focused on that. Because that which we focus on, like I said, grows. Not that we're trying to make it happen. What we're doing, we're creating an energetic condition that vibrates so that the result is inevitable and it's most likely to happen. I had shared that, I was thinking back to my son he's a grown man now. It's unbelievable how time goes by seemingly so quickly. But I was thinking about the time that he was going to the 9th grade. He was starting his freshman year, and he was in high school, and they had one of those, come back to school meetings with the parents, and I was there with my wife, and we were at one of the meetings with the geometry teacher. And during the meeting, she pointed out that she realizes that there are some students who believe that they're just not good at math. They're not good at geometry or chemistry or stuff like that. And she went on to explain to us that how she can get her students to feel okay with their ability, regardless of what their skill or knowledge level might be. And she pointed out that everyone is good at some things and not others. Some students are really, really good at math, but others are good at music. Others are good at English. Others are good in art and so on. And so she used an analogy that each subject is like a rubber band in our mind. Some of the rubber bands are large for areas that the students are good in, and other rubber bands are small for areas that they believe that they are not good in. And she went on to explain that when a student is praised and acknowledged in a subject area, that rubber band expands. When a student is put down or criticized for not doing well in a subject, and then that rubber band begins to contract even more. So she let us know that her job is not to only praise students for what they do well, but to also find the positive things they do well in that subject they believe they are not gifted in. In this case, it might be math. And she says when she does this, it changes the student's attitude from an attitude that math is something negative to a positive one. The one that's viewed as a weakness is now seen with a new perception, and the ultimate result is that the students who think they were not good improve. They become better because she was focusing even on the little thing that they were positive about and appreciative of. And I think that's a wonderful demonstration of the power of appreciation. Whatever we appreciate, it expands. It becomes more than before that appreciation took place. But here's the key. I think the appreciation elevates our energy field to be in tune with the vibration, with the all good that is there for us all of the time. So the second A is appreciation. And then the third A of the triple A master plan from Trapp is allow. Allow. Let go and allow what needs to come next. Understand there's a givingness, an openness of spirit that's everywhere. Now, we can't really earn the stuff that comes to us, but we can become receptive to it. Even in our darkest ignorance, which is another name for sin, which means that we just didn't know. In those moments, the Spirit of God is always being itself totally and completely at every point in the universe. We call that grace. So you and I must place ourselves in a perfect alignment, in a readiness to receive what God, the universe, the force, whatever we call it, is totally providing all the time. This is good to know, that we do not have to have the universe be different or change God's mind about anything. Because like I say, sometimes we can't even change our own minds. We can't even change our own opinions. More or less try to change somebody else's. I don't know if you ever tried to do that. That can't be done. But we can work on ourselves to become different, to transform something about how we think. And when we do, we create a clearing. As Ralph Waldo Emerson says, we get our bloated nothingness out of the way so the divine circuits can flow through and as us. That's allowing. It's not about conquering God's reluctance, but attuning ourselves to the God's unlimited willingness. So the master plan for prayer is about shifting us, expanding our awareness, raising our vibration to be one with this presence. You know, sometimes I will have conversations with someone who had a brilliant manifestation or a prayer answered in their life. And a lot of times, you know, when I listen to it, they'll say, what preceded that? When did the things show up? You know, they said, well, suddenly the worry disappeared. All the trying to figure it out, trying to make it happen with our rational mind, you know, they stopped doing that, and they stopped trying to do it. They stopped instead, and there was an awareness that happened. They were in the midst of this prayer consciousness, and suddenly they just knew that everything was well, that it was going to be okay. And that's when they released and they let go. And it was right after that the demonstration happened. Maybe they got the job they wanted. They ended up going to shopping and running into the person they really needed to meet at that particular moment. Maybe the physical body got a little bit better. There was a clarity in their relationship. There was some kind of insight that may have happened. And sometimes when those things happen, we may mistakenly think that those things that happened were the demonstration, were the answer of the prayer, but that's not really where it happened. The real answered prayer was that moment of clarity, that moment of connection, that moment of sensing and feeling the power and the presence, the love of pure spirit becomes the activity of their awareness. That was the moment. And they rested assured in that moment. I don't know about you, but maybe a lot of us have been programmed to believe in a God as a reluctant benefactor. A reluctant benefactor that has to be convinced to help us out. We may have been taught that, you got to plead with God, that you have to please God. After all, we've been taught to believe that, to create all kinds of ways to try to influence God, as if that's a possibility. Maybe somewhere in that training, we've been taught that we can displease this presence, as if it were a human being, that we can upset God's day. So we may approach God hesitantly, being careful on how we step. Because we know if we don't do good and we do bad, we're going to go to some place that's not going to be nice. Only when we do good are we going to be rewarded. We're the good little church people or spiritual people. They get blessings from God. And the worldly people out there, they get the wrath of God. That may make sense on the surface. And I believe that as a little kid. But as time goes on, you look out and the world, it starts messing up with that belief. I get real confused when those other people, the ones who couldn't come close to explaining what a church was, nor more or less be inside one, they don't believe in any kind of spirituality. They seem to be blessed. They look at life and they seem to be happy. Not all of them, but they got a smile on their face. Things are working. And here I am trying to do all the right things. I'm going through holy heck, because I ain't saying heck. But here we understand the essence of effective prayer. The universe hears and reacts to us, reacts to our consciousness. So the non-church going person that has spoken to the universe in only the way the universe understands. He or she has presented a developed consciousness, an energy field, and the universe has no choice but to fill it when we understand that our prayer work changes when we do that. We no longer do or think something or somebody will miraculously intervene to make a great change in our life. We realize true prayer is about being transformed by the renewing of our minds and our hearts, raising our vibration, so to speak. We realize that we are the answer. Well, this being a very practical pathway, I always like to leave a practical thing we can do. Hopefully some of these things are practical. But one thing that we can do that I think begins to help clear the field for the AAA to work. And that is this. And you might want persons on the people that you know that do this. Give up the chronic complaining. Because if we're complaining about life, we're doing, as they say in the scripture, looking through a glass darkly. We cannot see the face of God. We cannot see the good. In fact, I think it was Bob Marley that said something to the effect that complaining is like worshiping to the devil. That was his perspective. I look at it as saying that when we begin to complain, and I'm not talking about righteous indignation with the things going on wrong in our life or in the world, that we have righteous indignation. But, the chronic complaining, when we do that all the time, we're really saying, in effect, I can't see God. I can't see God. And so the chronic complainer is never around for the spiritual demonstration. They get uncomfortable when things are going well. The vibration for them is way too high. That's why they move around to place to find something to complain about. We want to enter a heaven consciousness, a high vibration consciousness, realizing that when we do, we are hanging around the good. We stand in a God presence, a God idea till it clothes itself and becomes visible. I think those who do not go to this presence just for the presence, who fight and complain, become the very agents and the perpetuators of the very thing they do not want, because the only reality they know is to infuse that with more energy, because they're afraid their heart's desire will not happen. Complaint blinds us to the ability to acknowledge the all-providing nature of God. It negates our appreciation of the good and then frustrates access to this presence fully working in our life. Because, we might be able to quote all kinds of spiritual stuff. God is good. God is everywhere present. sing our song, oh, I'm an instrument of the Spirit. But then we get in our conversation with our friends. Oh, we start coming up with all kinds of different belief systems about lack and limitation and wonder why the prayers we've been uttering are not revealing themselves. So let our master plan for prayer be the old beliefs undoing, so that the will of God, the vibration of God, the guidance of God can come through us. Now, sometimes when we start doing this, the surface mind, the ego mind, will start rumbling a little bit, get a little nervous. Uh-oh, she's acknowledging God. Uh-oh, she's singing them songs of appreciation again. All those floodgates of good are going to start coming in. If she keeps doing this, we got to stop her. In that moment, we got to say, get thee behind me, crazy thought. That's what that means when we say, get behind me, Satan, get behind me, crazy thought. I'm not drowning out the presence. We don't want to eliminate our sense of connection with the presence of God. And we will celebrate God in spirit and in truth, in the only language it knows, the language that gets consciousness ready. So acknowledge it's already done. Appreciate what we have, and then allow the universe to do its thing. Because when the consciousness is ready, spirit cannot deny us. And in an instant, in a twinkling of an eye, each and every prayer is answered in almost magnificent ways. We have an attitude of expectancy of good. And that, my friends, is the AAA method of the master plan for prayer. Peace out. Well, next week we're continuing on this theme of the master plan with the master plan for awareness with Reverend Deborah. And so next week we'll have Reverend Janae will do the meditation music with Denise Anye. Did I get it right? Okay, good. Larry and Soul Light Connection, so it'll be another opportunity to evolve in our own consciousness. If you want prayer yourself, you're going through something, you got a bump in the road, you want someone to kind of help raise up the level of your own vibration, our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you. They'll be in the courtyard. Just look for a prayer chaplain that has one of the stoles on, and they'll help you move from where you are to where you can be, mostly in consciousness. For those who are online who would like to stay in contact with Spiritual Life Center and to stay connected about what's going on here, you can fill out one of the welcome cards at slcworld.org. Click the Connect tab, and we'll be able to stay in contact with you. But more importantly, I just want to acknowledge anyone today that's here in person that is here for the very first time. Any first-timers here? Someone, keep your hand up nice and high. We'd love to have you. We appreciate you. We thank you. We love you. And there's a card that you can fill out if you want us to let you know what's going on at Spiritual Life Center. You can wear the purple ribbon, and you get a special greeting from one of our Spiritual Life Center friends or members, and we see you doing magnificent things because that's who you are. So we thank you, we appreciate you, and we behold the magnificence that you represent. At this time, for those who are online would like to support Spiritual Life Center with their gift or offering, you can do so by texting SLC Love to 44321. That's SLC Love to 44321. Or you can go directly to our website, slcworld.org, click the Donate tab. In addition to being able to give, by debit or credit card, you can also send a check by mail if that's your preference. Whatever you do, it's fully appreciated, and we thank you for being here and acknowledging us and being present, watching us online, either live or on a replay. For those who are here today that would like to give, just know that you are in the flow of a principle that says whatever you give out, it does come back in ways you never imagined and directions you never thought of. So with that awareness, and if you've given already, know that this is the truth. Let's affirm our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Let me take the mic, I wanna testify how I was dead and then I came to life. No more living in the dark of night. Now everything's alright. I've been changed. Like a book when you turn the page. Let me take the mic, I wanna testify how I was dead and then I came to life. No more living in the dark of night. Now everything's alright. I've been changed, rearranged, brand new day. I've been changed. Change. Tell me why would I turn back now? There's no end to the love I found. Future's bright and there ain't no doubt. I've been changed. I've been changed. Yes, I've been. I've been changed. I put my hands in the air 'cause I know you're there. Your love did something magical. I put my hands in the air 'cause you heard my prayer. A transformation radical. I put my hands in the air 'cause I know you're there. I know it's supernatural. I put my hands in the air 'cause you heard my prayer. I've been changed. Change, I've been changed. Tell me why would I turn back now? There's no end to the love I found. Future's bright and there ain't no doubt. I've been changed, I've been changed. Let me tell you now. I've been changed.
Every week they leave me a song in my head. So this one, I'm just thinking, I've been changed. Have we been changed? Are we changing? Yes. That's how we grow and develop and unfold. Never staying the same, you know. Changing ideas to a higher way of being in some way, shape, or form is really what it's all about, you know. Because if we're not changing, the world is moving forward. If we're not changing, staying the same, we're going backwards. So continue to evolve. So we take this time to bless those who have blessed us with their gifts today or online or throughout the week, knowing they're providing a place for those who are seeking to evolve in their own life, evolve in their own awareness and consciousness, so they can be the very best that they can be and make a positive contribution to their world and ours as well. So we're grateful for the support. We appreciate it, knowing that as we continue to appreciate and acknowledge it, it begins to expand in ways we never thought of. We also acknowledge those who have left their prayers in the prayer box today. Because in this thing called life, we always will likely run into challenges and roadblocks and bumps in the road. Those moments where we don't quite know how to figure it out. And in those moments that we must release and let go and lean on a presence that is in all, through all, and has the answer to the question and the prayer even before we know what it is. It is a presence that is changeless, that's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And we realize that no matter what the challenges that we may face, that there's a presence that is behind us, has our back, that's bigger than any challenge. And we remind that challenge that we never say how big the challenge is to the presence, the power, and the love of God. We tell that challenge how big our God is. For God, this presence that is known by so many different names, that is even beyond definition, is bigger than any circumstance. And we rest in that awareness. We release and let go if we've done our part and know that it is handled, maybe in ways we never thought of, maybe at a time that we don't know, but there is the answer ready for us, and we accept it, and we walk around knowing it is already done. For this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we go forth in our life, magnifying the all good in our own awareness, so that we can begin to create that world that works for all. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Let us join together as we affirm our prayer for protection, embodying and taking in these words and know that they are the truth. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all I am, and all is well. I got ahead of myself, but let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, God as creator. Family, all are we, family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace, let it begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let this be the moment with every step I take. Let this be my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me.
Peace and blessings for you. Hold that energy and hang around for some post-service music.
That's the start of it.